Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Press and tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smark's always high.
Seeing what we saw, we watched Sami Zayn kick OTC dead in the face on purpose. Hey, I'm pissed. OTC's pissed. You should be pissed too. We can't trust this fool. We can't trust him.
I can't be trusted? I'm the one who can't be trusted?
Yeah, we can't.
Do I need to remind you of your track record for a second? Huh? Remember one thing, before it was me and Jay, before Roman, it was you and me. You were my dog, remember that? You were my brother. You're the one who brought me into this family first. Remember that? And then the second thing started to go bad with me and Roman. What happened? You kicked me in the face. And then when things got bad with you guys and Roman, what did you do? You kicked Roman in the face. And when Jay had an opportunity to do things on his own, you kicked Jay in the face. It was always you. We're gonna worry about my loyalty if I can be trusted? No, man. No.
What you think? I owe you an explanation? Huh? Is that what you think? Hey, listen, Oos, I'm not the bad guy here. You heard me?
Sami Uso. I'm very impressed with the Saudi Arabians' knowledge here of watching this show.
No,
Big fan.
you don't get it.
Yeah.
You might not believe this, Jimmy. I don't hate you, bro. I don't hate you. I never have. And you're not the bad guy. You're not a bad guy. But you make bad decisions. I came out at Crown Jewel for one person, for Jay. You understand? I want to make sure he was okay. But I'm not gonna lie. For a minute there, when it was you and me and Roman, the four of us fighting side by side in this ring, for a minute there, it felt like old times. Felt pretty damn special. For 1 minute, it felt pretty damn good. But that's how long it lasted. 1 minute, and then it all falls apart, just like it does every single time with the four of us. So I'm not doing this again, all right? I'm not having my loyalty questioned. I'm not being put on trial. I've already been put on trial by your family, and I'm not doing this again. Jay, I love you. I love you. I'm sorry. I can't do this again. I'm out.
All right. Let's stop it right there. Welcome everybody to the Malapert Smark Podcast. I will introduce Vlad and Robert after we review this angle from Raw, but we're in the middle of reviewing an angle. We just did a watch along of Sami Uso, Sami Zayn with Jimmy and Jay Uso. This is from Raw on November 4th, by the way, just to introduce the topic for our Malapert Smark Podcast listeners. And this was in Saudi Arabia, big Saudi Arabia show. I guess they had first Raw in Saudi Arabia. They had Crown Jewel and that other pay-per-view. What was the other pay-per-view they have? The Saudi Arabian pay-per-view? There's two of them, right? I don't know. For some reason,
Is there two?
I don't
know.
I thought there was a second one, but
Oh my God.
it's all right.
I'm not sure.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me when I'm thinking about it. At least I know they had that Greatest Royal Rumble show over there, but there's another one that I'm thinking of. But forget it. At this point, it doesn't matter. Saudi Arabia got a WWE Raw. That was pretty cool for them, I guess. But all right, so Sami Zayn, he said he can't do this anymore. Too much drama last time. He wants to leave, and then. Right here, Jay Uso told Jimmy, he's like, you know what? He went back on what he said the week before when he said Sami's not family, but he's like, you know what? Sami is family. which was very heartwarming and touching to Sami Zayn. But he told Sami, "Hey, come on SmackDown and talk to Roman about this," because obviously Sami's a little sentimental about all this whole thing, and he seems like he's thinking about it. So he walked off, and that left us a little cliffhanger for SmackDown, which was this past Friday the 8th, which we'll get to in a minute. But I do got reviews, which we posted on our YouTube posts from Vlad and Robert. So let's see what our panel here gave this segment from Raw, or this angle on Raw. So Vlad and Robert, 2 thumbs up, both of you. Me as well, 2 thumbs up. So, all right, Vlad, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on today.
Great to be here. Very good to be here, Jim.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for being on. We're talking about Raw. What do you think? You want to give any comments about this past Monday in Saudi Arabia, this segment before everything really happened on SmackDown? We had this one little segment, but 2 thumbs up from you. So you loved it. But anything you want to say about this before I move on to Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I've been, how do I want to word this? I want to say that the fact that this long-term booking that they've had with this Bloodline angle is tremendous. I feel like it could just keep on going and going. It might never end. They just might take breaks, but then try to bring this group together again at some point, every year or every 2 years, because it really is magic. I have to be honest. Like, these segments are really, really good. It's probably the highlight of both shows, to be honest. I know Roman wasn't in on the Raw episode because he's usually just on SmackDown, but this was, a great segment for Sami, I felt, specifically, where he just said, like, look, he explained himself very well. He was there for Jay. He doesn't want to be put on trial again and questioned by the rest of the Bloodline that he was an honorary member of, if I remember correctly. Right? He wasn't a full-fledged member ever, but he was with them the whole time. Not the whole time, but you know what I mean. At least for a good amount of time. Anyway, so this was a really great segment. It was, I thought, interesting that they were in Saudi Arabia again. After Crown Jewel, I guess they just didn't have time to travel back to the States. I could make a joke. The Saudis had them hostage there for a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. I won't go there.
Yeah,
it's happened before. I don't know.
Held them hostage for a lot of money, though. I don't mind being held hostage for that much money.
I'm sure they paid them another, probably not $50 million, but they paid them something for this Raw episode as well. But anyways, this is a good segment. I don't really want to completely analyze it because there's more to come on the SmackDown. But this was good.
Yes. No, yeah, definitely, Vlad. Thank you. Robert, let me move on to you. Whatever you want to say about this before we move on to the really meaty stuff on SmackDown, which we'll talk about right after this.
This is really, really good. This whole segment had me feeling oozy. Yeah, I mean, it was around this time 2 years ago when I think Sami Zayn was, at least trying to become part of the Bloodline. I don't remember when he officially became an honorary Uce, but like the angle at least started right around 2 years ago this time where he was trying to join them. So at that time, like I remember I already liked the Bloodline saga before he joined, but his arrival, as becoming part of this saga made things a lot more interesting. And I would have never guessed that, at that time, I would have never guessed that 2 years from now, this Bloodline saga not only would still be going on, but still be actually very relevant. That's incredible how long this has lasted and how it remains relevant to this day. Like that, it's crazy. This is really good long-term storytelling. So, props to them. And then, for these segments, a lot of these promos, like I'm never going to compare the writing of this to like Breaking Bad or anything like that. But when kind of comparing it to, wrestling segments in general, this was very good writing. I thought it was brilliant. So, and there is more to come. So I'll have more to say for the SmackDown segment.
Yeah, for this one on Raw, I guess I'll point out they gave us a little clue that Sami was like, he felt sentimental, that felt good being out there with the guys. So that kind of gave us a little hint in what direction they're going to be going. And also Jimmy Uso. I like, ever since Jimmy Uso like did that thing when he turned on Jay and he just became this crazy guy or something. So he did a couple of his crazy faces that I thought was really, really funny. I don't know.
You mean that one?
That one?
Yeah, I like anything Jimmy Uso, honestly, for some reason. But okay, let me move on. SmackDown. So we're going on to November 8th. Let me pull that up right here. All right, so we're in the ring already. Roman's in there with Jimmy and Jay, for those of you who are not being able to watch with us on YouTube. But they do call Sami out. So the point was, Jay wanted Roman to listen to Sami Zayn, right? And this Sami Zayn just came straight out with it. He was like, he made it pretty easy for Roman. I'm not going to say verbatim what he said, but he was like, basically, yeah, it felt sentimental, and he put it in Roman's court. He's like, if you want me to fight alongside you guys, I will. And if you don't, I'll leave. But he said, you know what? I don't think you feel indifferent about me. He was like, what did he say? The line was, if the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Yeah, and he said, I don't think you're just indifferent about me. And he was like, I think.
But he did want an apology. He did want an apology.
Yes. He said, I still think you like me. And then he said he thought Roman was cracking a smile here. Right?
He said, he said, I think you love me.
Yeah. Well, according to our Malapert Smark rating system, the opposite of love is made me sick, but indifferent is somewhere in the middle.
Indifferent is in the middle, yeah.
But okay, according to Sami Zayn, he still thinks Roman loves him. So all that was, I don't know, I think they went pretty straightforward with that. I thought they would beat around the bush a little more to get all these guys together. But okay, so he wanted an apology. This was the face he made when he wanted an apology. And it wasn't to him, it was to Jay. He's like, apologize to Jay. And Roman actually did for a moment, but he swerved us, right? For a second, the crowd thought he apologized. He said, I'm sorry. And then he said, I'm sorry that I ever let you guys waste my time with this guy, which was pretty goddamn harsh. And then he turned to the camera and he's like, Solo, get your ass out here, And then Sammy's like, all right, well, cool. He doesn't want me here, so I'm leaving. And that was that for the moment. And then on the big screen, Jacob Fatu comes on the screen. And he says, I love you, Solo. No, he didn't say that. He said...
he probably did later in the night if he didn't in that segment.
Yeah, he said something to that effect. He said something about, Solo's a real tribal chief and you will acknowledge him later on because, right, there's going to be an acknowledgement ceremony or something. Supposedly the main event segment. So anyways, they go to the back. Jay's like, what the hell? And Roman disrespects him. He's like, you go hang out with Sami if you want to. And then Jay's like, hey, I told you if you disrespect me, right? I already told you I'm leaving. And he's like, that's the one warning. That's your one free pass, right? So Roman, I don't know what the hell Roman's problem is. Why doesn't he want Sami to fight with him? They obviously need a fourth guy to even the odds. So it's a little weird to me. I don't know what the hell he has against Sami Zayn. I mean, I guess Sami Zayn did turn on him, but man, he treated him like shit. He treated everyone like shit. So, but anyways, I'm diverging from the point. But yes, Jay got offended, and even Jimmy was like, "Damn, Roman, what the fuck," And Roman told him too, "Well, you get the hell out of here too. Then go hang out with them." So that's how SmackDown started, and then they just showed Roman kind of brooding in his room, waiting for the acknowledgement ceremony. So that's when the end of the night. Solo comes out representing the Bloodline, baby. Solo. But he comes out and he's like, Roman comes out and supposedly he wants him to acknowledge him. But Roman instead comes with a challenge for a match, right? So that's interesting. He's like, let's have a match. and the winner's going to be the tribal chief. And Solo laughs. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do that, but we can fight at War Games. And he said, let's make it 5-on-5 because basically Sammy's our fifth guy. So I guess somewhere in between everything that they didn't show, I guess Sami and Solo talked backstage or something, right? So supposedly Solo thought Sami was going to be on their side. And here's when Sami comes out a little later, and they're beating Roman's ass, right? So the Usos come out, the Uso brothers come out, and I think the Bloodline basically, it's 4-on-3, so they beat them all up, and they have Roman like ready to go, ready to put the Samoan spike on him, and Solo invites Sami into the ring, and this is where like the moment of truth happens because he wants Sami to help him haluva kick Roman, and then that's when Sami made his decision. Despite what Roman said to him earlier, he haluva kicked Solo instead, and that's when, you know, the tide turned. And after that, I think basically the old bloodline cleared house of the new bloodlines. Roman put a Samoan punch on Solo, and Roman looked at Sami all, you know, dramatic, and he had his back. Sami had his back, and so the Usos come in and they put up the ones, and then there's this dramatic moment where, you know, Sami's like, come on, just freaking do it. Just put up the one, Roman. And then, like in Robert's background on his Zoom meeting background, yep, we got the original 4 members of the Bloodline back together without Paul Heyman, but it is most of the original group. So there
Paul
you
Heyman's
go.
coming.
War Games
Sooner than later.
basically has been set up. All right, so I'm on topic number 2, so I'm going to try to give you guys a time limit, but, you know, it's just a loose time limit. Just a minute and 30 seconds is what we do for the first 5 topics. And if you want to go over, you can, or whatever you want to say. So let me first do the reviews on this. So check out our reviews on our YouTube post. We've already submitted reviews. And let's see what we got here. Robert with the 2 thumbs up. Robert loved this. Me also with the 2 thumbs up. I'm digging this. This is really good. Vlad, a thumbs up today. So didn't go all the way with it. Just a regular old thumbs up. So I'll get Vlad's comment second. I'll start with Robert this time. Robert, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Smackdown, baby.
Oh, yes. This was awesome. So, yes, another Bloodline segment that I really, really love. They're really on a roll right now with how good these segments are playing out. It was pretty much predictable. I did see this eventually happening. The only thing that surprised me about them finally reuniting was how fast it all happened.
Yes.
It's like
Good point.
The pacing of it is faster than I expected. I knew they would reunite eventually, but just not this quickly. Usually in wrestling programs, they tend to drag out these angles to just, the pacing of it tends to be slower. Like they just drag things out. That's typically how they work. This is
I also felt the same way.
Yeah, this is faster than I expected, but the result was not a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that, Robert. I think maybe they want more time before Survivor Series to actually have a feud between these 4 or these 8 or something like that. You know, maybe they didn't want to just put them all together right at the end before the match. That's the only thing I can think of.
They have to bring Paul Heyman back at some point before Survivor Series. Just how they reintroduce him, I'm not sure. But yeah,
I mean, this could have been a possibility to introduce Heyman by saying, hey, he had to advise Roman, you got to take Sami back, because we need him. We need to even the odds. I don't know. I guess that was a possibility. But nonetheless, Sami's back in the bloodline, it seems. Vlad, thumbs up today. So I guess you had an issue with it maybe or something. So let's hear
well, a couple. No, I wouldn't say I had like a major issue. I obviously enjoyed the segment very much. The only thing that was, I think I mentioned in the review, in my comments, Solo, I don't understand here because he was like, oh, our fifth member is Sami. But I'm like, dude, were you not at Crown Jewel? Did you not see that he's not with you guys? He's not with you guys. He's already made that clear. So I didn't understand that. Like, what had happened during SmackDown that would make him think that Sami was going to be their fifth guy? I'm like, okay, that really doesn't make any sense. It made him look dumb at the end when Sami kicked their ass and they in the original Bloodline held court type of thing. But there was also a couple other issues. To start the segment, basically Roman brushed off any Sami being united with them at all. So, and nothing had really happened in that segment either to prevent to show that they were going to be a united group at the end of the show. And it was actually Sami a couple of weeks back on Raw that was telling Jay that he didn't need to be involved and you don't have to go into it. But he's like the first one that wants to be involved. He's like, yeah, it's all great. The four of us together. It's kind of funny.
That's true. That's true.
That
was a turnaround. That was a 180.
He was a really fast turnaround. So I mean, I think the writing is still very good, and I think some of these segments are still tremendous. But some of it is not really. I don't know. Like the logic isn't always 100%. Like it's still better than anything else going on in wrestling. But I wish it was a little bit more crisp and a little bit more tighter. I mean, type of deal. But overall, obviously this is a very enjoyable segment. The crowd was going crazy. These are four guys. All four guys are pretty much over, I would say. And it's going to be, it could be an interesting match. I would assume that, I'm just going to guess that the original Bloodline should be victorious at Survivor Series, but we'll see. A lot of things could happen from now to Survivor Series. But anyways, yeah, good segment.
Yeah, I think I can make a little sense out of Sami joining this team because he's doing it mostly.
Yes, I can too.
To help Jay. Jay's his friend. Jay has remained his friend on Raw. So, he wants to be in on it with Jay. And the fact that Roman doesn't want him to be there, it's too bad. You know what I mean? He has to be there at this point. Like Jay says, he's as close to family as they have. You know what I mean? So they announced this Survivor Series match or what? Is it for the tribal chiefdom or no? Does anybody know anything about this?
Well, I believe they announced the match, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember if they said anything about the tribal chiefdom being on the line.
When did they announce this match?
I didn't hear an announcement.
I kind of heard that there somehow for some reason this match is set, but I don't know why. But okay.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna happen, but I'm looking right now, I guess, but I'm pretty sure.
It's all right. All right. Well, I'll move along then. I got more topics to do. We're 23 minutes into the show. I do got 9 topics, so we spent a lot of time on the first 2. But let me move on. So I'm gonna stay. You can look that up if you want, Vlad.
Yeah. I mean, the match is set.
I watched SmackDown. I don't know where they would have announced it, but okay, maybe it was on social media or something. I have no idea. But I did gather that the match is set. So War Games, baby. All right, that's gonna be cool.